On this month's edition of Muscle Magazine, we'll visit the Gold Coast of Florida and the Teenage USA Championships, where stars like 17-year-old Chip Bentoncourt, natural teen Gary Gomez, and California heavyweight Dennis Newman flexed and fought for the crown. Then from Daytona Beach, the Masters USA Championships, with bodybuilders that may be in better shape than their own children. Jackie Paisley just finished competing at the Ms. International. We'll talk with her about training and her plans as she enters the professional bodybuilding circuit. Then two of America's hottest national level stars. First, Big Johnny Morant. He's 5'10" and weighs as much as 275 pounds in the off-season. We'll go through a heavy back workout with Johnny as he prepares for the USA Championship. Then to Franco Santoriello, who also is considered by many to be one of the favorites at the USA. His 20-inch arms are one of his most impressive body parts, and we'll see how he trains them in contest preparation. In this month's GNC Nutrition News, Trent Mitchell explains about the development of ergogenic aids such as inosine, gamma-oryzanol, and vitamin B12. These substances have some of the same muscle growth abilities as anabolic steroids, but without the toxic side effects. And then, imagine being only 5'4" and weighing just 110 pounds. Well, after graduating high school, Vinnie Comerford was tired of being a shrimp, and today competes at nearly 190 pounds. We'll profile this newest addition to the professional ranks. Hi, I'm Kim Douglas, and your host today. Join us as we begin another exciting hour of muscle action here on Muscle Magazine.
Muscle Magazine is brought to you by General Nutrition Centers, America's leading source for health and fitness nutrition. By Powerhouse Gym, America's maker of hard bodies. By Sports Star Health and Fitness, the choice of champions for the finest in nutritional vitamins and supplements. By Vallejo, the ultimate workout belt. By Video Pump, the most respected name in bodybuilding training and entertainment. And by American Bodybuilding Products, makers of Carbo Force, the pre-workout energy drink used by professional athletes worldwide.
Hi, and welcome back to Muscle Magazine. It's been said that the hope of America is in its youth. Well, if the caliber of bodybuilders at the 1989 Teenage USA is any indication, at least American bodybuilding is in good hands. John Kobick reports the results from Daytona Beach, Florida.
Daytona Beach, Florida is transformed into Party Town, USA during spring break and the 3 months of summer. But recently, an unexpected event attracted teenagers and master-class bodybuilders to the tropical vacation land setting of Florida's Gold Coast. The 1989 Teen and Masters USA was held at Peabody Auditorium and brought national-level competitors from across the nation. The teen women started the night off right by showcasing the youngest competitor in the show, Amy Bortmas, a 14-year-old from Tucson, Arizona. At 5'1" and 104 pounds, you might think Amy is just starting out in the sport, but believe it or not, this was the third contest for the Santa Rita High School freshman. Amy models her bodybuilding after professional Tanya Knight, but she'd like to surpass Tanya and become the youngest pro ever at the age of 20. Why not? She still has 5 more years in the teenage class alone. Taking third place was 5'6", 106-pound Michelle Hale, also from Tucson. This 17-year-old senior just graduated from Saguaro High School and plans on studying nutrition at Pima Community College. Michelle began training a year and a half ago when a coach at her school sparked her interest in bodybuilding and weight training. In fact, Michelle is the president of a group of bodybuilders calling themselves the Saguaro Body Shop Club. She now plans on putting some more size on and moving up into the middleweight class for her next competition. Second in the lightweight class went to 18-year-old Shelby Harrington out of Valrico, Florida. In her first non-high school event, and after only 5 months of training, Shelby astonished the audience, judges, and especially her father with her second-place finish. The Bloomingdale High School graduate has an athletic background in gymnastics and softball, but it was on the track where she was discovered by her coach and fellow bodybuilder, Kelly Williams. Shelby plans on attending college in pursuit of a career in psychology or law. In the middleweight class was an impressive 18-year-old Carrie Hensley from Tucson, Arizona. Carrie has been training for just over a year and possesses an aesthetic physique at 5'4" and 120 pounds. She accredited her flawless posing routine to 7 years as a gymnast, which also undoubtedly provided her with her superb muscular base to build upon. Carrie seemed to be an audience favorite and was unquestionably the best of the women posers. We expect to see a lot more from this promising competitor as she improves her shape and comes back even stronger next year. The heavyweight division came down to 2 competitors, and it was 17-year-old Laura Farley from Sandy, Utah, who took the runner-up spot. The 1989 Team Utah State Champ stands 5'5", 141 pounds, and is a junior at Cottonwood High School. Winning the heavyweight division was Jennifer Henrique from Clovis, California. This 19-year-old stands 5'7" and weighed in at 136 pounds. She most recently competed in the 1988 Modesto Bodybuilding Championships, but she felt she was better prepared here at the Teen USA. Jennifer was a definite crowd favorite and a proud representative of the California contingency, not to mention being in close contention for the overall women's title. But the overall crown went to the lightweight winner, Jennifer McConnell from Westland, Michigan. This shapely 19-year-old has genetics galore, including narrow hips, waist, and joints. Yet she gives the impression that she's carrying a lot more muscle than her 5'2", 114 pounds. Jennifer spends her time out of the gym as a dancer, while also studying physical therapy, which Jennifer feels she can utilize in her bodybuilding. She's intrigued by the human body and is especially interested in all aspects of natural training.
I've only been in bodybuilding for almost 2 years, so I don't know, I want to go as far as I can. With drug-free, I don't know how far I can go because it's really tough competition. But I plan on bodybuilding for a few more years. It's nothing I want to give up.
But if the audience thought it was the women who create the fantasy in bodybuilding, it's the men that bring them back to reality. And it started right away in the lightweight class, where Mighty Mite Gary Owens from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, captured 3rd place. Gary packed some major muscle on his 5'2" frame, weighing in at 142 pounds. And he definitely benefited from the knowledgeable help from his pals over at Apollo Gym in Fort Lauderdale. Gary's goal is to one day squeeze 190 pounds onto his stature, but his real dream is the reality of being on stage.
It's the most natural high you could ever have, being on stage. I mean, I have fun when I'm up there. If I didn't have fun, I wouldn't be doing it. And you just got to do what you can, go up there and give it your best. And if you didn't do what you had to do, you go back to the gym and start all over again.
Winning the lightweight class was an astounding 17-year-old George Betancourt from Miami. George's 5'6", 150-pound physique was so symmetrically appealing and ripped that he was unanimously awarded 1st place, even though George felt he came into the contest about 4 pounds too light. He's won all 3 contests he's been in, starting with the 1988 Southern States Championships, when we at Muscle Magazine first heard of him. George's great symmetry permits him to look 30 pounds heavier than he actually is. And he's achieved this incredible quality by instinctive trial and error training to see what works best for him. George's first real passion was surfing, but he's always been athletically inclined, especially toward individual sports. He loves everything about bodybuilding, even contest dieting. And with his genetic gifts and hard work ethic, he'll soon be competing on the open middleweight level. In the tightly contested middleweight class, 2nd place went to 19-year-old Brad Roten out of Houston, Arkansas. Brad's been training since first picking up a bodybuilding magazine at the ripe old age of 13. He's since transformed his frame into an aesthetic 5 foot 8 inches and 170 pounds. Brad admitted he was a bit shocked at doing so well, but he really hit his training and diet hard and did his best on stage. Brad's father is an Assembly of God pastor who stands behind him both in bodybuilding and schooling. The middleweight winner was 5 foot 6, 162-pound Gary Gomez from Arvada, Colorado. This 19-year-old is an illustrator and graphic artist at the Colorado Institute of Art. But it was his sculptured physique and classic posing which won him the middleweight title. Gary displayed sharp, finished muscle and pleasing lines throughout his graceful routine. And when he hit a pose, you could feel the crowd's excitement and awe. But Gary's toughest audience is himself, and he feels that there are a few things he needs to achieve.
I'd like to accomplish as much as I possibly can naturally. I'm 19 years old and I'm 19 years natural, and I'll only go as far as I can naturally. Other than that, I've got other things to do, but I love bodybuilding, and I'll put as much as I can into it, but naturally.
The light heavyweight division introduced a new force to the team ranks in the form of 19-year-old Bo Matlock from Summit, New Jersey. The 5'7", 198-pounder won the overall 1989 Team New Jersey and has been training under the watchful eyes of USA hopeful Johnny Morant and Diamond Gym owner John Kemper. Bo feels that he has the genetic makeup and base muscle to one day take him to the top, and his massive frame has often been compared to that of professional Sean Ray as far as muscular roundness and thickness go. But the heavyweight class and overall winner, Dennis Newman, was unstoppable as he pounded onto stage with his athletic 5'11", 200-pound frame. Winner of both the San Jose Championships and the Orange County team title, Dennis is still a newcomer to competition, but he's won the overall title in every show he's entered, though usually considered a sleeper. In his other wins, Dennis pretty well dominated the competition, but hot on his trail for this coveted USA title was George Betancourt, the lightweight class winner. Nevertheless, Dennis's sheer muscularity and expressive posing pulled the win out for him.
When I step on stage, I feel the whole crowd's with me, and I feel intense. I get butterflies, and I feel that everybody's with me, and I do better when I do that.
Many people feel that teenage bodybuilding may not be at the same caliber as open-level competitions, but judging from the teenagers' hard work in the gym, their enthusiasm on stage, and their heartened belief that their bodybuilding lifestyle is more than just a passing fad in their years of development, it can be said that bodybuilding is a positive, character-building influence on the youth of today.
This portion of Muscle Magazine is brought to you by Vallejo, the ultimate workout belt.
The incredible growth in the sport of bodybuilding isn't concentrated just among American youth. Parents seem to like it too, as demonstrated at the recent Masters USA Championships. Teenagers may have dreams of grandeur in a career of bodybuilding, but lifters with over 40 years behind them compete for the fun of it. John Kovic introduces us to some of the masters of bodybuilding.
Back in Daytona Beach, the audience witnessed a spectacle of what hard work in the gym can do to keep a body looking young, as over 60 master-level competitors showed the nation what real prime beef looks like. In the men's lightweight class, it was Larry Ballou from Greer, South Carolina, who took top honors. 49-year-old Larry is a success story if you've ever heard one. He began training out of fear of suffering a heart attack at the age of 40 while 70 pounds overweight. 2 years later, he was competing and has since won over 20 contests, including 2 national masters championships. Larry stresses that bodybuilding changed his entire lifestyle and his life expectancy, and that self-gratification can be attained by anyone who wants it bad enough. Larry obviously did. The jam-packed middleweight class was snatched up by 42-year-old Don Bennett from Valley, Alabama. Don competed at 5'6", 169 pounds, which is a formidable accomplishment since he used to carry 212 pounds and a 36-inch waist when he began training 6 years ago. But Don is now a seasoned veteran of competition, holding the 87 Masters Alabama crown and taking second in the Masters National lightweight class in '88. He'd like to go head-to-head with the kids in the open division, and Don feels that Masters competitors have the advantage of carrying more mature muscle than their younger counterparts. In the light heavyweight division, second place went to Andy Garasimo, a 42-year-old high school science teacher from Laguna Niguel, California. At 5'10", 198 pounds, Andy has the athletic frame of a football player. In fact, Andy played a few years of football at the University of Pacific under the infamous Buddy Ryan. But it was powerlifting that drew his interest and led Andy to the bodybuilding stage. He captured third in his class at the '88 Masters Nationals, and he'll attempt to move upward in the ranks this year.
It's the way in which I live. I choose to live. It's a single sport. It's not a team sport. I was in team sports for years, and you shared the wealth and also shared the misery. Whereas in bodybuilding, you don't have to share the wealth, and you don't have to blame anybody if things don't go right. It's all yourself. It's so very personal that you're in control of your destiny all the time.
The heavyweight class produced some hardcore muscle, especially with winner Joe Sasso from Singer Island, Florida. The 49-year-old condensed 202 pounds onto his 5'9" frame and was easily the most muscular Masters competitor present. No wonder. Joe's been training since the radical 60s, and he's experienced many drastic changes in the sport, especially with dieting. But Joe wouldn't have it any other way.
I don't think I could exist as myself without going to the gym every day and proving myself to myself that I can physically do what I have to do. And I know it keeps you young. I know it keeps you strong, and you feel better about yourself. So I don't think I'll ever stop training unless they carry me out of a gym, God forbid.
But it was light heavyweight winner Jerry Alexander from Orlando, Florida, who seized the overall Masters crown. 43-year-old Jerry brought his 5'9", 191-pound frame on stage in hopes of winning the title in front of this home state crowd. And by winning the Masters USA, Jerry became the first bodybuilder ever to win both master-level NPC championships. But Jerry attributes his success in bodybuilding to consistent, symmetrical training.
Well, I think the most unique thing for bodybuilders, anyone, no matter the age, is that you can create something within yourself, both physically, and it's a big mental high for you also. The discipline part of it, dieting for shows, but just the ability to reshape and mold and create something that on your body that no one except the good Lord can take away from you.
The Masters men set the tone for quality physiques, which transgressed into the beauty of the women's division, beginning with the lightweight class and third-place winner Myra Brown, a 40-year-old from Gainesville, Georgia. At 5'2" and 102 pounds, Myra has learned a lot from the sport. She's taught physical education on the college level, run competitively, taught aerobics, and experimented with dieting tactics. But Myra primarily wants to keep feminine, toned muscle appeal, and she encourages all women to work out in one form or another. Taking second was 5'3", 110-pound Pinky Holt from Sarasota, Florida. The 37-year-old mother of two credits her 2.5 years of bodybuilding with reshaping not only her physique, but also her self-respect. And Pinky's record of past wins also demands some respect, most recently with the '87 Sarasota title and the Tampa Bay Classic Championships. Pinky told us that weight training can change any physique at any age, and that you're never too old to start. Taking the lightweight class was another 37-year-old from Haines City, Florida, Wendy Stiletti. Wendy is a former classical ballet dancer and continues to teach at her own dance studio. She draws off her dance background to enhance her artistic expression in bodybuilding, especially on stage. But Wendy feels that bodybuilding benefits all aspects of life and is actually a way of reversing the aging process. She's won the 1987 Masters Central Florida and would like to continue training and competing as a completely natural athlete. The women's middleweight division introduced 35-year-old local favorite Rebecca Fischetti from Daytona Beach. The 5'3", 115-pound Rebecca teaches 8th grade English, where her students call her the weightlifter. But she also co-owns and operates the popular East Coast Gym along with her husband Frank. As a former competitive swimmer, Rebecca felt the need for a sport that would maintain her individual competitive interest, and bodybuilding did just that. Winning second place at 5'5" and 121 pounds was Joyce Brown from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. 41-year-old Joyce is a former competitive figure skater who trained to increase her strength and endurance on the ice. But her competitive nature bled over into the gym, and she now says she's addicted to drug-free training. Joyce's goal is to be one of the few women to compete in both Open and Masters divisions, and she'd like to break the stigma that Masters competitors are over-the-hill bodybuilders. Judging from Joyce's shapely physique, we think she's already proven that. Sweeping away the middleweight crown was 37-year-old Cheryl Stewart from Malden, South Carolina. Cheryl is another firm believer in bodybuilding as the fountain of youth, and she waltzed her way onto stage with her incredible 5'2", 122-pound shape, delighting the audience. Cheryl began training just to look good in a swimsuit, but as her dynamite body improved, so did her competitive aspirations.
The contest is the favorite part for me. I look forward to being on stage in front of people. I enjoy showing off all my efforts. That's what I enjoy about it. So that is the reward itself, not the trophy.
But in the overall winner's circle, it was a heavyweight that hadn't trained competitively for over 5 years. Maria Lloyd from Miami made her national comeback last year at the 1988 Junior USA. But placing fourth only whetted her appetite and sparked her year-long quest to win this coveted Masters women's crown. And Maria did it by refining her physique to a more aesthetic balance while working on her posing and stage presence.
I really have to give my trainer a lot of credit. We changed the training program around and made some major changes in my physique, like dropping 2 inches from my waistline. And so I would say really that, and just like actually probably maybe even being a little smaller and a little more feminine for me.
And in the world of bodybuilding, enhanced femininity and masculinity are why bodybuilders spend time shaping their physiques so that others can marvel and appreciate their hard work both on stage and at the shore here in Daytona Beach, Florida.
When we return to Muscle Magazine, Jackie Paisley joins us just after her second-place finish at the Ms. International. We'll learn how and why she altered her training over the past few months. And then, big 250-pound Johnny Morant, who's cutting up for the USA. We'll catch a back workout and learn how he developed his flaring lats.
This portion of Muscle Magazine is brought to you by Sports Star Health and Fitness, the choice of champions for the finest in nutritional vitamins and supplements.
One of the prettiest professionals competing today is Tucson native Jackie Paisley. The 5'7" 140-pounder is a bundle of energy on stage as she turned on the crowd in Columbus recently at the Miss International. Our reporter Scott Hicken talked with Jackie after the contest.
Pro bodybuilder Jackie Paisley has set some lofty goals for herself in the sport.
My destiny, as far as I'm concerned, has always been to go one step farther. And even if that means breaking new ground and being shunned for an initial period, I think it eventually will pay off and be appreciated.
How does this 5'7", 141-pounder plan to go one step beyond? Well, to find the answer, just listen to her posing philosophy.
I'm also experimenting with combining dance and bodybuilding trying to work that in to my posing routines as well as eventually performances, you know, polished performances with dancers and other bodybuilders who dance.
Ballet has also worked its way into Jackie's training regimen with good results.
I think a lot of the ballet-type movements have benefited me a lot because you really can focus on using the muscle and pushing through the floor, through the, you know, with a leg press and feeling it where you should.
Those results include a recent second-place finish in the Miss Internationals. Jackie has gotten this far in part by adjusting her attitude as well. She now varies the intensity of her workouts and has come to accept bodybuilding as a way of life.
I think you have to think of it more in a long term and accept it as part of a lifestyle rather than just working towards a show. It's more than that for me. It's more of a lifestyle. It's more of a, I'm setting more of an example, I think, for other people. And I've got to, you know, do something that I enjoy.
Down the road, Jackie hopes to pursue a career in biological research. But for now, the upcoming World Pros and promoting a new poster are taking up most of her time. She hopes her physique and new ideas will convince even more people to put their time into bodybuilding.
I also wanted to reach out to more people and use that as well. That's why I'm incorporating more artistic type of things into my posing. Having a dance background and a music background, I have the facility to do that. So I want to use what I've learned. I don't want to stagnate with it. I want to go somewhere else. I don't want to just do what everyone else has done.
For Muscle Magazine, I'm Scott Hicken reporting.
Allow me for a minute to throw some body measurements at you. Arms, 22 inches. Chest and back, 58 inches. Waist, 30 inches. Legs, 30 inches. And calves, 20 inches. They belong to Big Johnny Morant of Diamond Gym in Maplewood, New Jersey. Johnny's still an amateur, not even a pro, but he's so impressive. We at Muscle Magazine thought you might like to witness one of his grueling back workouts. It's intense, so watch closely.
How you doing? My name is Johnny Morant. I'm planning on entering the USA this year and winning it. I want to take you through one of my favorite body parts, which is back. Let me show you how to thicken and widen your back. So if you're ready, let's train.
Johnny starts off his massive back routine with cable lat pull-downs. This is a great movement to widen the entire back, and it really cuts those lats. Using a wide grip, pull the bar down to your chest and squeeze and hold at the bottom to burn the muscle. Then completely stretch out the lats at the top of the movement. Johnny does 5 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Next on Johnny's list are seated cable rows, which really build mass and thickness for your entire back. With your back arched, pull the handle to your waist and try to make your shoulder blades touch. At the bottom of the movement, stretch your lats out completely for maximum extension. Johnny uses moderately heavy weight, doing 4 sets of 12 reps each. Johnny's third exercise for his monstrous back are T-bar rows. This is another great mass and thickness builder for your entire back. Keeping your knees slightly bent and your back straight to alleviate lower back pressure, pull the weight towards your rib cage area and squeeze at the top of the movement. Don't forget to stretch out your lats completely as you lower the weight. Johnny does 4 sets of 10 reps each. Johnny's final back training exercises are dumbbell rows. This movement really shapes up your back since you're able to work each lat individually and fatigue it to its fullest. Keeping one knee on the bench to help support the lower back, pull the weight straight up, perpendicular to your shoulder, remembering to keep your back straight. Keep the movement smooth, slow, and precise to really nail those lats. Johnny does 3 sets of 10 reps each.
Remember, when you're on stage, you don't have a back and have anything. Train hard, train wise. I'm Johnny Morant from Muscle Magazine.
This portion of Muscle Magazine is brought to you by General Nutrition Centers, America's leading source for health and fitness nutrition.
In our continuing series on food supplements, this month's GNC Nutrition News covers what bodybuilders call performance-enhancing substances. I'm not referring to steroids, rather ergogenic aids. Trent Mitchell explains as he joins us now from GNC.
Hi, I'm Trent Mitchell, and last month on GNC's Nutrition News, we took a look at anabolic nutrients and the pros and cons of their use. This month, we dive into ergogenic aids, the highest-tech supplements on the market. Ergogenic means that a substance has a performance-enhancing capability. Although highly dangerous, anabolic steroids have ergogenic properties. And just as anabolics were created to isolate the building effects of testosterone from the sex-related effects, ergogenic aids such as gamma-oryzanol and inosine are thought to enhance performance without toxic side effects. The main idea behind these substances is to create more of an energy compound called ATP. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate, and it's the immediate energy source for every muscle in the body. It's really pretty simple. When the muscles run out of ATP, they stop contracting. And all food sources from proteins to fats can end up as ATP. So you can see why being able to create more of this compound is critical to the athlete. The more ATP, the more endurance and strength. The stronger you are, the more muscle you'll build. The key ATP enhancer has to be inosine. The reason it's so effective is that you can't just swallow ATP tablets. Why? Ingested ATP can't penetrate the cell wall. Inosine, however, stimulates the production of ATP in the cell itself. This maximizes the production of energy within the cell. Another benefit of inosine is that it's thought to stimulate protein synthesis, thus giving an anabolic effect as well. And last but not least, it can also enhance oxygen carrying capacity and endurance. Another supplement with a wide range of benefits is an extract from rice bran oil called gamma-oryzanol. Developed in the 1970s to increase growth in farm animals, gamma-oryzanol was shown to increase lean body weight while reducing body fat with no toxic side effects. For a while, GO, as it's referred to, was sold only to healthcare professionals. Once the word got out about its effectiveness, it became more available to the general public. Yet confusion about the active ingredient and what it actually did made it a mystery product. Ferulic acid, or FRAC, has been shown to be the active ingredient in gamma-oryzanol. Double-blind studies are the scientific process that any product hoping for real acceptance must pass through. Both FRAC and GO recently underwent double-blind studies at 5 centers across the country, and the results were conclusive. Gains in strength, muscle size, girth, and weight were shown. Probably the newest ergogenic aid on the market is a metabolically active form of vitamin B12 called coenzyme B12, or dibencoxide. Although it's marketed as a non-steroid anabolic agent, its real benefits probably come from the ability to enhance red blood cell synthesis, thus increasing endurance. Increased endurance can also mean more repetitions, which can add up to more muscle gains. Increased red blood cell production also can enhance the muscle pump itself. As a side benefit, many users of dibencoxide list increased potency as a side effect, although this is purely anecdotal. Approved by the FDA as a vitamin supplement, this agent is gaining in popularity by leaps and bounds. The most potent form comes as a sublingual, since digestion interferes with absorption. Well, that's our look at ergogenic aids. In our next segment of GNC's Nutrition News, we'll take a look at the newest carbohydrate and protein weight-gaining formulas. We'd like to invite you to let us know what else you'd like to see on the show. I'm Trent Mitchell from Muscle Magazine.
Just ahead, one of the Pro Rank's newest entries tells us why, as a 5'4" wrestler, he got into pumping iron after high school.
This portion of Muscle Magazine is brought to you by Iron Man Magazine, bodybuilding's independent voice for over 50 years.
The 1989 contest season is in high gear with some of the most outstanding bodies seen in years. A few of the favorites that we'll be covering on Muscle Magazine include the Tournament of Champions in Redondo Beach, California. Held on August 13th, the tournament draws some of the best amateurs in the nation from as far as New Jersey. We like covering it because it gives us a chance to enjoy the balmy Southern California summer. Also on August 13th, we'll be sunbathing on Miami Beach at the Southern States Championships. This is a favorite of Floridian bodybuilders since it's matched in caliber only by the state championships. Then on September 16th, the 50th annual Mr. America. It's the granddaddy of bodybuilding and for years was unchallenged in national prestige and prominence. This year, it's again held in conjunction with the Ms. America. So we look forward to the golden anniversary of the Mr. America more than ever before. We'll be back with more Muscle Magazine in just a moment.
This portion of Muscle Magazine is brought to you by Powerhouse Gym, America's maker of hard bodies.
Being short in stature isn't a structural trait that any athlete would wish upon himself, especially if you're a bodybuilder. The taller you are, the bigger you can become. Well, professional Vinnie Comerford is proving that being short doesn't mean that you can't be big among the giants of bodybuilding. Our reporter Carolyn Siders explains.
The desert region of Phoenix, Arizona has consistently turned out some of the country's top bodybuilders. And most recently, it boasts the pro debut of Vince Comerford, the Great White Hope. At 5'4", Vince packs an incredible amount of muscle on his frame. But when he first began training, weighing a scant 135 pounds, he wasn't too sure about his progress.
You always look in the mirror and expect things. It's like watching the pot boil or the grass grow. You're never, it's like, gosh, when am I going to grow? But it's the other people that do notice it. So yeah, it was very shocking to them how quick I did grow.
And Vince shocked many others by quickly putting on size and entering the open division in a contest only a year later.
My first show was in 1983, and after my first contest, I was fortunate enough to place second in the open. And I was in the open, which was in Mr. Buffalo back, in '83. And right then and there, I loved it. I just loved it. It was just an incredible feeling as a positive reinforcement. And another one, which I took it like that, and I just couldn't stop doing it.
It was that first taste of success that fueled Vince's competitive appetite, and he quickly progressed up to the national level, competing in the '84 AAU Mr. America. But it was the 1987 Nationals where Vince swept the middleweight title and took siege of the bodybuilding world. Then it happened. Vince fell completely out of sight in the sport. He disappeared by injuring his lower back while training for his first pro show, and compounded with urgent family concerns, Vince opted not to compete professionally at that time.
Here it is. I was the '87 National Middleweight Champion, which is an incredible honor and privilege. I look at it as, and also extremely fulfilling, highest point of my life to now the lowest. Disappointment. Also not to anybody else, but I gave up on myself. That's what it was. And I vowed never to do that again. I needed myself to give it another shot. And I was fortunate enough I did get a second chance.
Vince's second chance earned him a second-place finish in his pro debut at the U.S. Pro Competition and a third place in the Night of Champions a week later. Vince weighed an astonishing 186 pounds and showed amazing density and muscle separation, especially after a full 2 years away from competition.
Success was standing on stage on a pro stage and making a statement to the world that I have respect enough for the IFBB and the competitors, and I did. I put on 13 pounds of muscle mass on 5'4". That's a lot of weight. And it wasn't bloat. It was true muscle. And it came from not training education, not nutrition education, knocking back to the basics, doing them harder, doing them better, but having my heart and my desire and dedication and determination to do it. That's what did it.
But the return to the stage was not without its problems. And in an attempt to put on more mass, Vince got up to 230 pounds only 16 weeks prior to the show.
But the thing is, I was under a misconception of train like an animal, eat like an animal, whatever it is, but my diet consists of a lot of high fat. And when you're doing that, there's no positiveness in it. I carried it not just more a day, I carried it for half a year at least.
But Vince's focus and determination opened up his awareness to a whole new realm of the sport, the bodybuilder as an athlete.
And now I've come down to realization that I've become more of an athlete. That is, when you're eating pure, knocking your fat out, understanding the nutrition, food management, and also you're becoming an athlete with bodybuilding. Incorporating aerobic activity to strengthen your heart. The stronger your heart is, the strongest muscle on your body as far as endurance-wise. It is. The stronger it is, then it'll start relating to the rest of your body, the stronger your legs will be. And when those legs are strong, both endurance and strength-wise, it's endurance muscle and also weight fiber type training, or just your power type training together, the upper body will also respond. It's a whole package.
And as this blonde myth takes care of business in preparation for his Olympia debut, he applies a philosophy which brought him so far in so short a time.
Just remember, anything I do, of course, I become educated with what I do, but without the intensity, the heart of the desire, it's nothing.
Some other little big men bodybuilders include 5'4" Mohammed Makaway from Egypt, who won the Universe in 1976, and since has had a sterling career as a pro. 5'2" Danny Padilla competed in the heydays of Mike Metzer, Bob Birdsong, and Robbie Robinson, who narrowly beat him to win the 1979 Night of Champions. Canadian champion Steve Brisboe towers over his rivals at 5'3" and is making a strong mark on the pro circuit. And then Lee Labrada, who at 5'4" took the 1985 middleweight division in the national and world championships. We'll be back with more Muscle Magazine in just a moment. At last year's USA and Nationals, a dense, muscle-packed Franco Santoriello lost out in the light heavyweight division. First to Texan Ronnie Schreier and then to Vince Taylor. Franco's back in 1989 for the win, and part of his contest training includes a twice-weekly arm routine. He joins us now from the World Gym in Denellen, New Jersey.
Hello, I'm Franco Santoriello. I'm about to put you through my gun-busting bicep workout as I prepare to assault the national level. So if you're ready, let's go.
Franco starts off his big gun routine with alternating dumbbell curls. Start off with your knees slightly bent, back straight, and arms at your sides. Raise one weight at a time and squeeze at the top of the movement while supinating the wrists. That is, pointing the thumbs away from the body. Lower the weight slowly, keeping constant tension, and extend fully at the bottom. This is a great mass builder and overall shaper. Franco does 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Franco's next exercise is lying cable extension curls. Lying on your back with your head towards the cable machine, pull the bar down with a narrow grip all the way behind the head. Pause and squeeze the biceps, then let it out slowly, feeling the burn. This isolates the upper arm completely and emphasizes the peak of the bicep. Franco does 3 sets of 12 reps each. Franco's final exercise for his massive arms are preacher curls. Franco uses an easy curl bar with a close grip. This alleviates pressure on the wrists and focuses the tension on the biceps. Using a slow, smooth movement with a full range.
These are 3 of my favorite movements I like to do in training my biceps. But also remember, the key thing to getting your arms over 20 inches is to train them intensely. From Muscle Magazine and Franco Santoriello.
If you would like to write to Franco or any of the bodybuilders appearing on Muscle Magazine, or would like to make a suggestion, send your letters to Muscle Magazine, Post Office Box 40, Rosemead, California, 91770. The next new edition of Muscle Magazine will appear on ESPN on Wednesday, July 19th at 7:30 in the evening on the East Coast, 6:30 Central, and 4:30 in the afternoon on the West Coast. Well, that'll do it this month for Muscle Magazine. We're pushing for a drug-free America, and we hope you are too. I'm Kim Douglas. Thanks for watching.
Muscle Magazine has been brought to you by General Nutrition Centers, America's leading source for health and fitness nutrition. By Powerhouse Gym, America's maker of hard bodies. By Sports Star Health and Fitness, the choice of champions for the finest in nutritional vitamins and supplements. By Vallejo, the ultimate workout belt. By American Bodybuilding Products, makers of Carbo Force, the pre-workout energy drink used by professional athletes worldwide. And by Iron Man Magazine, bodybuilding's independent voice for over 50 years. Hotel accommodations provided by the beautiful Marina Pacific Hotel on the beach in Venice, California. We'll see you next time here on Muscle Magazine.